He wants to like test my microphone or something.
Well, we're live. That
And
sounds
we're
great.
live.
Going live. Sounds
Well,
great.
good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. Happy New Year, and welcome to the first Fight Club of 2023.
That's right.
I'm doing my best lumberjack impression. Tay's here. Martha's here. Megan may or may not be joining us, and we've got a super cool guest named Jonas. But Tay, kick us off. I don't need to talk about everything. You're in charge. Let's go.
Well, welcome to Fight Club, the show for home service business owners looking to improve their marketing, finances, systems, and culture. We are a team of self-employed industry experts, and this week we get to be joined by the king of door-to-door sales, in my opinion, and that's Jonas Olson. Thank you for joining us, Jonas. I apologize to everyone. My voice is struggling, but I'm going to let Jonas take over real quick, introduce himself so you guys can get to know him a little bit better.
Geez, what do you guys want to know? Been in the industry for 12 years. I think I started like most people started. Didn't want to work for anyone else. Started pushing a lawnmower in my grandma's backyard and didn't know how to get customers. So the first thing I did was knock on the neighbor's door. And that's how I started getting customers from day one. And then, I think 7 or 8 years of figuring it out. School of hard knocks by trial and error. Then I found a really, really good coach. And I got a couple more good coaches, just like you all did. And then the next thing you know, I'm building a team of door-to-door sales reps, and we're opening up our 4th office. And we're in 2022. So move fast, move slow the first 7 years, and move really fast the last 4 or 5. So it's like that overnight success for 12 years.
I can't wait to hear about that.
I love it. Well, thank you for joining us, Jonas.
Short version.
That's a short version. Well, we're going to get more into detail throughout the show because I know I have a ton of questions. Martha's been hyping you up like crazy, so I'm super excited to chat marketing with you. But for those just joining the show, maybe this is your first time listening. My name is Taylor Maroney. I actually co-own a power washing company in South Florida with my husband. So I totally get the not wanting to work for someone else, wanting to do your own thing. I feel that on a lot of levels, Jonas. But my background does come from marketing. I have a graphic design major. That's what I love. I love the colors, the fun animation, all the things. But I love helping business owners also understand what marketing means and how to, make better decisions based upon their marketing numbers. So super excited to be with you guys today. Super excited to be back for our first one. It's been a while and it's 2023. So let's go.
And normally Megan would be next introducing herself. So I'll be Megan just for a minute. She's in Mexico, we think, where she's globetrotting somewhere. And Megan helps people with their numbers and financial goals. And she, I know, has been focused really hard the last couple of weeks on setting up her businesses for success in challenging herself for those goals as well. So we're sad to miss you, Megan. We miss you and we can't wait to see you when you get back. And then I'm Michelle Myers, co-owner of Pink Collars. We do remote admin services. My husband, like we mentioned before, Jonas, runs a Wise Coatings franchise. So we lay floors during the week as well. And then I help these ladies do this boot camp thing, which we might talk about later. I am thrilled to have you here and can't wait to hear about a little bit something called Best Badass. I don't know. I'm gonna talk to you about that. I can't wait to hear about that. So welcome to Fight Club.
Thank you. Appreciate it, ladies.
The biggest badass award. And have you decided where you're going on your big vacation, Jonas?
To be 100% honest, have not thought about it once.
You
got too many other things that I'm worried about other than that right now.
You get like what, $10,000 or something like that?
I think it was like 13,500.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
To take this epic vacation. I saw Jason Brassfield was in Dubai, etc.
He was in Dubai 2 days ago, and he's in Maldives right now. He just texted me.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Life. That's awesome.
I know when we were watching the football game the other night, my girl saw a commercial, and it was like a cruise, and it looked like Wisconsin Dells, like a big water park.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're going to go there. So they're deciding for me, I think.
Yeah, you could go there and other places. So
yeah, sure.
That's funny. Tay, she was accusing me of being a squirrel yesterday, and I am still that way. So anyway, I'm Martha Woodward. I used to own a maid service for lots of years. I am the owner of, or founder of Quality Driven Software, which is about employee performance, client retention. And I just help people build happier workplaces. So I'm excited to have Jonas as our guest. I met Jonas, I don't know how many years ago, through Service Autopilot, which is just a great community. So I appreciate you. And I also talked Jonas into being a speaker at the QDS conference. So there's a win too. Tay, I'm going to let you take it away, even though Jonas has to do most of the talking.
Yeah, I know. I'm working.
He can do it. I have faith.
I was screaming. Participated in a half marathon this weekend, and then my friend ran her first full marathon. So I was there on the sidelines cheering her on, and ended up losing my voice, not really thinking ahead to podcasting today. So
yeah, every Saturday I go to watch my daughter wrestle, and I get more nervous and I scream more when she's wrestling than I ever did.
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon, I can't talk either.
You do. You get it's so much excitement to watch your family members and friends compete in something that they're just so passionate about. So I apologize for the voice today, everyone, but we're going to get through it. So I kind of hinted to it before, but you really are like the king of door-to-door sales, Jonas. Like when Martha told me you had 100 salesmen and women, there's probably a mixture in there.
Wow.
I was like, no way. I was like, there's no way this guy has 100 salespeople in his business for a service business. I was like, I got to talk to this guy. I got to figure it out. I want to know what he's doing. I want to know all the secrets. So let's kind of go back to that beginning, because you said that's really where it started, right? That's where when you were mowing your grandma's backyard and really getting into the business, you started adding business on through door-to-door sales. So what inspired you to keep that in the business? Because I know people will do that in the beginning and it's very common, but then it falls off. It's still such a great sales technique. So what inspired you to keep it in the business for as long as you have?
Well, I think that I kind of let it drop off too, to be honest.
Oh, you have?
And for a while, and that's how I started the business. And then of course you get growing, and it seems like, well, other marketing is way easier than door-to-door, which is true. Right. And then it just came to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm fighting this against these people that are fighting for the same ads online. And I don't see them getting any cheaper. And this was back in 2019, 2020, and everyone's going on Facebook. Everyone's going all digital. COVID hits, and everyone's online. Like, we're, again, fighting for the same leads. I'm like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to try going back to old school ways of marketing. And they hit a home run.
Oh, that's so exciting. Okay, so let's talk about that home run then, because so we took a break. We took a little bit break there. COVID hit. When you started to bring it back into the business, what did it look like for you guys? Because sometimes that's the other thing too, is like owners will sit there and say like, we need to get more sales. We need to increase these sales, right? But they don't necessarily, they remember their grassroots on how they did it, but getting someone else to do it is a different story, right? And training an employee to do that is totally different. So what was your process in getting your team ready to feel comfortable to go to door-to-door sales? Because I know I would be scared out of my mind to go knock on someone's door and go sell them. I would be, honestly. I'm not a great salesperson. I always say that, but it is a fear for some people. So how did you kind of overcome that process and really start to train them on that?
So I have a couple of good things that I'll talk about there. The one thing that to be a good sales guy, you say that you're not good, but if you believe in your product enough and you believe in your business, it's pretty easy to sell anything. You're selling every day, no matter what you're doing. You're probably selling me right now in your business. You're selling me that you're not a good sales guy. You're always selling in every situation. The best way to overcome fear is action. So what I tell people before they even come work with me, like take the first 2 weeks, go to the supermarket, go to the mall, go introduce yourself to 5 to 6 people every single day and just give them a nice compliment. And if it's a 20-second conversation, cool, and just move on. That's the hardest part people have, is just getting over that fear of just that introduction. That if you can get past that, you'd be a great sales guy. It's that simple.
Wow. So, okay. So the first 2 weeks we're sending them, out into the world. They're not even at the company yet. and they're just introducing themselves, saying hello, and giving that compliment, and then hopefully having a little bit of a conversation after.
For sure. And that's all it takes, just to get over that initial fear of going up and talking to someone. Once you get past that point, you're good to go. But I'll be honest with you, like this was 2019. Well, it was actually 2020 COVID. In Michigan, we literally got shut down for 4 months. Couldn't do anything. I'm not the person who's just going to sit there and not work. That's just not how I operate. So I started driving to Wisconsin, which is 2.5 hours away, every single day at 4 o'clock in the morning, and started knocking doors again just to start working. That's how I ended up in a second state. And I'll be 100% transparent. When I went to go knock my first door, 10 years later, my heart was like in my stomach. It was like literally, I walked up to the door and I'm like, okay, it's been a long time. I walked away from the door. I was like, I just need to take a breath. Went back, talked to the person, sold my first door. And I'm like, okay, we can do this. And then it was just me at that point every single day for probably 2 or 3 months. And then from there, I got one of my other guys to come with me. He started doing well, taught him. Then a third person came in, my brother. I taught him. I'm like, okay, now we have something going on here. And that's when I was like, we need to get really, really good at this. And I could see it working. And you would think during COVID, people like wouldn't want to talk to you, but it wasn't like that at all. We got the total opposite.
I was
People
going to say,
were happy to see someone. They're happy to talk to someone. They're like, thank God you guys are here. It was just really cool.
I was going to say, I felt that in Florida a lot too, because during COVID, it was, people were missing that human interaction, right? Because we were all locked up. We couldn't do much. We were really stuck in our homes and our, select routine that we personally had. So being able to bring that human interaction back in a safe way is something that people were craving. And honestly, when we started doing some limited door-to-door sales during COVID, and we saw that too, it was people were excited to buy. They wanted to interact. They wanted to do those things. So now we're at about 3 to 4 people. So I got to know, how did you go from that to 100? How did we get there? Like, how did this next big kind of, obviously it didn't happen overnight, but
what happened is I got, and this is honestly by luck, and maybe you could say that I brought good energy or whatever, but my first 3 people that I found as sales guys happen to be the top 3 best people in the country right now. Like they're in the top 5%. Like whether it was luck, whether it was part skill, whether it was part training, I hired a company, a friend of mine to come in that I knew that did it. He came in, I hired him as a consultant. He came in and I actually went down and dirty with us and taught us really how to make this thing work. Once I found those 3 guys and we did what we did in a year, I'm like, okay, now we got to do this again. Like, how do we make this even better? But then they were bought into the company, And so what I did with those guys is I gave them, they're such good sales guys that I don't ever want to lose them. And I wanted them to be part of the company more long-term. So I gave those guys part of their ownership in their branch to keep scaling forward. So now they're partners.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome. So now they have that, that ownership, that drive, right? That sometimes employees might not, which I don't want to step too far on Martha's toes. I apologize, Martha, but that's giving them that ownership over the business. And now they have that passion too, which they already had, like you said, you could see it, but that's so important in sales to be passionate about what you're talking about and be passionate about the brand and the business and what you're offering to your clients. So, I mean, recapping, now we've grown, we've gotten this door-to-door sales system in place. So we're at 4 locations, about to open 4 locations, you said, correct?
Yep.
We've got 1 in Michigan, 1 in Wisconsin.
2 in Michigan, 2 in Wisconsin.
2 in Michigan, 2 in Wisconsin. Awesome. And where's that 4th one going to be?
Madison, Wisconsin. So there's Madison, Wisconsin. There's Appleton, Wisconsin. Then there's Escanaba, Michigan, where I'm born and raised, small town. And then Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is downstate, about 5 hours away.
Oh, Appleton. That's where I fly in to see my family. So that's awesome.
Yep.
My mom's from Wisconsin, so I have a ton of family there. But it's great to see that you, in a time that people were scared, right? In a time that people were terrified of really growing their business, you saw that opportunity to expand. Maybe you didn't see it at that exact time, but you saw an opportunity. You needed to fill sales. You needed to fill the business and make sure you're supporting your team and your family. And you did that. And then from there, it grew and kept growing and kept growing. So if you were giving someone advice on how to go ahead and start this, because I know it's definitely something that we've been talking about adding in as well, even again, what would be your initial first piece of advice to tell someone? Like, if you only could tell them one thing, what would you tell them about door-to-door sales?
Get a coach.
Get a coach. I like it.
No, honestly, yeah, get a coach. It's a shortcut. It's a cheat code for sure. But just go be yourself. Like, and people have all these scripts and they talk about these scripts, but if you just go be yourself and tell people what you do, it's really not that hard.
Oh, it's awesome. I love that. And so I guess I can kind of slightly transition into Megan, and you guys can help me a little bit here.
Yeah.
So obviously this ties into finances. This definitely helped the business drastically. So can we talk about how business-wise and the financial side of things, the door-to-door sales, once starting again in 2019, made an impact on the business?
Oh, for sure. Like, just in one office alone, we started from scratch. Like I said, literally scratch, nothing.
Right.
Just me in a truck and driving to Wisconsin, and 18 months later, that branch did over 3 million in revenue. So it was fast.
Holy cow. And where were you at, prior to that? So we're saying like 2019, you're about to start.
2020, like it was $0 in Appleton. None.
Zero. Nothing.
Zero. Nothing.
Wow. So we started at $0 and now Appleton's at 3 million.
Just over, yeah.
Holy cow.
So it was moving fast. And then that's not including my other branches and stuff like that either. But so it's something that every business should have. I'm not saying like a door-to-door team, but I think a sales team for sure. And I think that's the boat that I missed early on, because I was really good at operations. I was really good at running the company, but I missed the whole sales side. Marketing, I feel like a girl's pretty good at too, but this is just kind of just adds another leg to stand on, just another tool in the toolbox. It's not the end all be all, because it does come with some bad stuff, at times, but just gotta get used to it.
No, absolutely.
I'll take the good with the bad, There's more good than bad.
You have
That's called business ownership. Yeah. That's how it works.
There's so many next door apps, and then there's the group Facebook neighborhoods, and they see your guys walking around. Like, who are these guys? What are they doing? Blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you get a bad review just because you're walking around. So you got to take that with it too. So it's not all great,
No, of course. Absolutely. And it's, there's a great question here. Jake has a question in regards to kind of your employees side of it. So do you give your employees kind of a sales commission, or are you giving them other incentives? So I know we talked about your 3 main guys that you kind of moved into ownership. Yep. But what about your sales team underneath them? How are we kind of incentivizing them for the door-to-door sales side of things?
Yeah. Well, hey, Jake. I know Jake. Good question. Thank you. I would say that depends what the role is in the company. Whether if he's self-gen leads, or if he's company leads, or if he's like I said, if he's a salary guy with commission or just commission, it'll all change. So I'd hate to say this is what we pay our guys. And then if I talk about the financial side of things, you have to know your numbers really, really good in order to know what type of percentage you can give your guys. And you have to know how many leads they can get today, how many appointments they can set, how many sales they can get. So I'd hate to say this is what we check, this is what we give them, because it constantly changes, and it almost changes with every rep too. So it goes back to how long they've been with the company, like how many years, again, how many sales got the year before. So how many sales reps that they brought with them, built the team together. So it changes. So I'd hate to give you just a straightforward answer, because I don't want someone to go say, hey, we're going to go pay this and not be able to afford it. And then they go in the red, so.
Megan was love that answer. Oh, Megan would love you hearing you say that.
I know enough about finances to not get myself in trouble. But again, I hired a CFO that he's got me dialed in pretty good. So. It's so important. Again, if I could give you one piece of advice as a business owner before you even start business, know your numbers. Because I lost probably 4 or 5 years of life not knowing my numbers, which I'm sure everyone's been there.
Yeah.
There's so another one that Megan would like.
It is. And it's as far as knowing your numbers and moving that through the business, how have you felt that once you did start to know your numbers, that really impacted the business? Because that is something that I know Megan's super passionate about. So I'd love to hear your story behind that, so that way we can kind of add a little bit more finances to this today.
Like I said, I think I lost like 4 or 5 years, not know my numbers. Just, I started out pushing them lawnmower, knocking doors, and you just drive by someone's house and like, oh, that looks like a $35 lawn. You have no idea what that even means. Like, you have no clue, right? So then you find the right people. Like I found some good mentors. They started actually like I don't need to name drop, but I have really close friends that are in the network of finances that helped me a lot, to understand my profit, my COGS, overhead numbers, all the numbers that I needed to know. And once I realized, okay, these numbers make sense, and this is how I get better. These are things I can do to change the business. Once you get past that point, like you have more cash, you can pay your guys more, you can buy more equipment, less debt. So it how much it impacts the business, it's hard to say, because if I would have kept doing what I was doing, I wouldn't be in business today.
Wow.
I could constantly chase the money, and like, again, going back to when I first met Martha, like getting on a CRM at that time. Like this is back, 8 years ago. I was on paper writing things out, spreadsheets. It was a nightmare trying to come home after work, and then I'm trying to charge, or not even charge cards at the time. I'm sending out invoices off QuickBooks. So
that was her husband. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was doing it in QuickBooks, and then he was keeping it on his iPhone calendar. And I was like, you're going to drive me bonkers if we keep doing it this way.
But now we can track the data. We can track the data for everything. We know how long our tech's there. We know how much product they use, the profit on each job. And at the end of the day, we was like, okay, this is where we were on this route. This is where we were on this route. So we just know how every route is doing efficiency wise. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing. Well, now we're kind of like, it's like really great segues today. We're like,
it is. I know.
Right into
I'm feeling it.
So
I'm feeling it.
Take over, Michelle, because I'm definitely gonna sip on coffee and water for the rest of the show.
Yay. Okay, so Jonas, you've got 3 locations going. You're gonna have your 4th here pretty soon. You can't be in 4 places at one time, no matter how young and nimble you are. So tell me how you communicate with your team the most effective way without being able to be with them in person. Because I know a lot of people get stuck at that scalability. They're like, I can't be in 2 places at one time. I can't go to another market. Tell me how you kind of divided and conquered that problem of communication and being in multiple places at one time.
Great question. So we have a leadership meeting every Tuesday. We run EOS traction.
Oh, yay!
We
Us too.
We run a leadership meeting every single Tuesday night. And then every single Monday morning, we run a sales meeting. So we found out we used to run the sales meetings on Mondays. So we'd have our best day ever on Mondays. But then we'd have another meeting on Wednesdays. And all of a sudden, like, well, Wednesday was our best day ever. Then we have a sales meeting on Saturday. And it's like, oh, we had the best Saturday ever. I'm like, okay, well,
really?
there's something to this. So we decided to have a sales meeting every single day. So in each location, I have, my sales guys that are there that have learned through me and through other people that are very good where they can train other people. So I still go to each location, I pop my head in there and I'll do sales trainings, or we'll jump on a Zoom and I'll do a training with the guys. But I've also built an entire platform where any of my guys can log in at any single time and go through any of our trainings.
Ooh, okay. And where is that located for the listeners?
So we use Lightspeed for that. So they can go in there, they can take tests, so they really know what they're doing before I even send them out on the doors.
So it's an LMS, I'm assuming, learning management system. Is that what it is? Okay, great. And then go back to traction really quickly for the listeners who may not know it, because there's a lot of new business listeners. I put traction in pink collars in March of last year, and it's 100% changed my business. So tell the listeners kind of what it is and how it's helped you.
That's a loaded question.
It's a big one. Sorry.
Yeah, no. The best way I can describe it is just like keeping your team, like really all listeners that might be new, like keeping your team just knowing what's going on at all times.
Yeah.
You know what projects you're working on. You know what the future is going to look like 1, 3, 5 years out. Yep. Everyone has their quarterly rocks. You know the projects are getting done every week at your level 10 meetings. You're talking about your rocks and going over the issues and talking about people, and just make sure that everyone's on the same page at all times, so the small things don't slip through the cracks.
That's so good. That's a perfect.
When we tried to hire a traction coach early on, but where I live, there was literally none here.
Yeah.
Now they can do it via Zoom. But we're like 4 or 5 years into this. We got taught from someone else, And then I've been to some other trainings of EOS, and they brought an EOS trainer. So we have the book and everything. So
Cool.
we self-implement it. I'm not saying that's the best way to go, but
Sure.
it's just what we had to do at the time, and we've been doing it ever since. So.
I love that. We hired an implementer. I'm too flighty to be able to like focus that hard. So it was great for us to do that. But our integrator now is actually remotely located. He's in Canada and he helps run all of our stuff for us remotely, which is great.
Yep. So we talked about that, but like at this point, we're already 4 or 5 years in. At this point, we feel like we're pretty good.
You got it. Yeah.
There's obviously we're not perfect, so things could change, but
I love it.
and
Okay,
then
so
like communication wise,
please.
we have softwares that we use that we just that we talk through every single day for communication, leadership, and sales guys, and we have sales, sales trainers. We all have different like apps that we just use that communicate throughout the day too.
Okay, like do you use Google or Slack or which one?
No, we use. I don't remember what it's called now.
I'm asking the boss the difficult questions.
No, we use GroupMe forever.
Got it.
And it was a free app. And now I just have to see what we're on. We changed. There we go. Pronto.
It's okay. I mean, but who listening right now as a business owner, who would love to not know what the communication is? I mean, that's actually like right? Because if you're so entrenched in the day-to-day operations and you're so much in the communication, you bog yourself down as the owner. And what I think I'm hearing from you, not even knowing what that is you're operating at a really high level, which means that you're driving the business. You're not back in operations. You're in the front of the train, driving the train. And that's where all business owners want to be.
And I have a really good operations manager, but we're actually just put a ad out there for a COO to bring that person into.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
I don't want to be involved in operations, although I'm good at it. I can talk about it. It's not where I operate very well.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that's really good. And I'm just going to run sales and marketing, keep doing that.
So
that's just right. And I love it. I even took myself out of my emails for the company.
You did?
Yep.
I'm really close. I'm going to try to do that this year. That's one of my quarterly rocks.
I did that. I did that this spring, and it's the best thing ever.
Really?
Like, you know what it is to be a business owner. We want to fix everything. We want to have our hands involved in most things. When something bad happens, we're the first one to jump on it, right?
Yeah.
But again, like you said, it just slows you down.
It does.
And so I'm sitting there making phone calls to my friends, like, "Hey, are you still in your email? Yes. Are you okay? Next friend, are you still in your email? No. Okay, your next friend. No, literally doing this this spring, seeing how many people are in and out of their emails, and I'm correlating it to their business. I'm like,
really?
Okay, well, this person's not doing it. This person's not doing it. This person's not doing it. But look where their business is at. Okay, I need to get out. So that's what I did.
Oh my gosh, that is great data mining. I love that. That is so cool. Okay, so you realized that traction. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's the best thing ever. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Oh, I can't wait.
Can we answer Tyler's question?
Yes, absolutely. Tyler says, when you added your second or third truck, was it driven by gross numbers per tech, or was it schedule driven? How did you decide when it was time to add that next truck?
When I needed it, and I knew I needed it. So at the time, we didn't have that much data when we first started. We were just figuring out like the high level door-to-door thing.
Sure.
But when you're selling 30, 40 jobs a day, and you can't get your work done, you just know we needed to add a truck. We need to add a tech. And it went like we're just adding trucks left and right for first minute, So it was not data driven, Tyler. So I'm sorry. I'm not. But when you're doing door-to-door, it's a little bit different. You just have to know the average amount of sales that you guys are going to get. And like, okay, well, this guy gets 3 a day. This guy gets 3 days. This guy gets 3 days. So I need 9 a day for those 3 people. Okay, they need a truck.
Yeah.
And then I have some sales guys that literally need a truck just for them. They'll sell 20 plus in a day. So.
Wow. Okay, so for those listening that have businesses similar to yours, and don't get offended, but you are a medium-sized ticket that is repeated over time. Do you know kind of what the lifestyle or the lifespan or the life cycle cost of your client is, or the lifetime value of that client? And then alternately, for people who are selling more high ticket things like maybe floor coatings or stuff that's in the $3,000 to $5,000 range, do you think door knocking would be good for those higher ticket folks, or does it really work for your small repeatable businesses? Tell us.
I
what
have
you think.
friends that literally sell anything and everything door to door that you could probably think.
Really? Oh, that's good. Oh, good. Good to know. I had no idea. Good.
Yep. It's a really big industry and it's a really big niche, but you don't hear a lot about it. And if you do, it's never good.
Yeah.
Once you're in the industry and you realize how big the industry really is, it's pretty insane. Like they have, like, I think next week, they have a whole like door to door like event that you can go to.
Wow.
They give out awards for like the best people in the industries. Like it's a really big thing. People just don't know about it.
Really? Is it the D2D conference?
Yep.
D2Dexperts.com. Okay, we're going to give them a shout out. That sounds really cool. Ooh, it's in
That's
Salt
my boy,
Lake. Oh
Sam
my
Tager.
goodness. Those are some important people on that speaker lineup. That's pretty cool. I love it. Okay, thank you so much. One last question before I pass you on to Martha. Tell me, when you're multiple locations, what CRM are you using, or using a combination? Tell people how that's working a little bit.
This is the answer that no one's going to like.
It's okay.
We run two separate softwares, and it's not the greatest thing to slice bread.
Okay.
It's actually terrible. But there's no perfect CRM, and for pest control, we use Pest Routes, and it's just for scheduling purposes and for our door-to-door sales guys, because they have a really good app that they can sign the customer up on the door. And for the lawn side, not automation side, we use Service Autopilot.
Got it. Okay.
But again, that's not great for pest control, and that's not good for tracking commissions.
Yeah, got it.
We use two separate softwares. So our pest control people are in one, our lawn care people in another. And if that day ever comes where we get acquired, at least we can split them up.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's smart. I'm assuming that the pest control is repeated, right? You sell them kind of like an annual package for a discount. Yep. Okay. Beautiful.
Same thing with our lawn care. It's just an annual package, reoccurring. And we found out what works best for us is that we actually just do monthly billing for both services. And that way we don't have to fight the winter.
Ooh. Oh, that's a huge gold nugget for everybody who's out there that's seasonal. That was a huge one. Okay,
yeah, so
beautiful.
We ran into that too. I've done it all before. So going back to what you said, like simplifying the scale, that's what we did. I've done snow plowing, I've done lawn maintenance, I've done landscaping. Wow. I've literally done it all. And everyone's just keep it simple, stupid. So I end up selling off half my company a year ago. And I kept the fertilization, weed control, and pest control side, sold all that off, put that money into what we're doing now. And once you simplify and just reoccurring small ticket items, that's how you scale fast.
I love it. I love it. So exciting. Thank you so much for your time, Jonas. I'm going to pass you off to Martha. That was so helpful.
I tell you what, Megan's going to be sorry she missed it because she is so into memberships.
That's her
with their window cleaning company, and gutter cleaning. It's kind of an up and coming thing for that type of company to sell memberships, and they pay monthly and get their windows cleaned on schedule several times a year. So yeah, she would be grilling you. Well, she'll be grilling you in New Orleans. Perfect. And Tyler that just asked a question, he's also speaking, so you'll meet him. So Jonas, I want to talk about your family and when you had the biggest badass competition and the video and everything, your mom, I was trying to shoot, that makes me tear up, but your mom was precious. Like, you can tell your family has backed you 100% and helped you grow.
Oh yeah. My dad was a big part of that too, and so yeah, it was a bittersweet moment for sure because my dad had passed away the day before in a tractor accident.
Yeah.
And the next day we got to watch the biggest badass video together live via Zoom with my family there. So it was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a bittersweet moment for sure. But to not be at the conference with all my friends and buddies and my mentors, it was tough. But it was a whole different experience watching that with your family instead of with your friends is pretty awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that it was kind of cool for your family for you to be
Oh
there,
yeah.
but it was a terrible reason.
Oh, for sure.
For
And
sure.
my
But
family was from all over the country that was all there watching it. So it wasn't just my
right.
mom, you know, my siblings. It was like my aunts, my uncles. They were all watching it live. So it was pretty awesome. And like everything happens for a reason, and I feel that way about everything. So when that happened, it's like, okay, well, now we're all here watching it together, and it brought
Yeah,
us closer.
exactly. And I was there in person, and to see all the people that went up to the stage and were your biggest fans, it was really cool.
Yeah,
So
that was another first time, I think, for Service Autopilot too, because they
it was.
had a couple of
Yeah.
people have really good friends in that group. We've been together for 6 years, and Jonathan reached out to me. He said, "Who do you want to talk?" I'm like, "You, I guess. You know, who else?" And then he asked everyone to go up on stage and with him
Yeah.
talk. So
Great.
it was a really good experience. And I know one of my biggest goals this year was I wrote down every single day to make Jonathan proud. There's a backstory to it. There's a backstory to it through the academy. And then for him to say that he was proud of me on stage is pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Only a few times a year do we start crying
That's
on
great. Yeah, only a couple.
And I've had so many people reach out to me during that time that was at the conference that they said when they watched the video, like the whole place was in tears. And so
Yeah.
it
Oh,
means
yeah.
a lot to know that I or myself, my team, and we've impacted that many people and they were there for us during those times. Is pretty grateful. Like, I mean, Service Autopilot alone, like they sent me gifts. They give my, to my house. They sent gifts to my people that were there. They're making sure that my people that were that are part of my company that were down there, that were taken care of the whole time. So it goes beyond just a CRM with them. And no one's perfect. I think they try, but at the end of the day, we're all still people and family, and they care too. So that was very, very important to me.
It really was. And your mom said that she started her own business because she watched you start.
Wow. That's so good.
It was really great.
So good.
Okay, let's end with a non-crying thing. Let's see. So
I have a people question. How do you recruit these people? Where do you find a door-to-door salesperson? I'm sorry. Where would you find somebody?
I was still stuck in the emotion.
Okay. I'll get us out. How do you find them? Like, where are these unicorns hiding?
Again, I got lucky, but the first kid that I went after, he's obviously still with me today. One of my great friends now. I actually coached him in wrestling. So I was a wrestling coach for a high school team for 6 years. And he was a stud then, a really good wrestler, collegiate college player for soccer, super intelligent. And I recruited him for 7 months. Like almost on the day I texted him. And he just said, no. This is a true story. I heard him in my Biggest Badass video. I was texting his mom. I was texting his dad. Like, you just got to give me a chance with this kid. COVID hit during that same time. And the place that he was working at was a restaurant. They shut down. So finally he sat down with me. I didn't know what I was really doing at the time as far as recruiting goes. So I was probably saying all the wrong things, but it worked. And he finally came in, and the first day he came in, this is another thing to go show you guys. His very first phone call he ever made, he called a current customer and hung up the phone on because he's so nervous.
Perfect.
Right? You guys see that? Everyone gets nervous. This kid's nervous. But he got past the first month, 2 months. I took him to Arizona. We sold in Arizona. We got our butts kicked. We took him to Florida. We got our butts kicked in Florida. But then when we came back home, back to our hometown, we were selling for ourselves. It was like we flipped a switch. And now, like kid said, the kid sells 15 plus a day every single day. He teaches a team. And so, yeah, it just so where I found him, I went through my personal network first. We call it a hundreds list. And then so we went through our personal network, and then from there we recruit at career fairs, colleges. We try to think out of the box. And people think that recruiting is hard, but they think recruiting is like posting an ad on Facebook or Indeed and expect all these people just to show up in the door. Like, oh, we can't find anyone. We can't find anyone. Well, what are you doing? So it's your biggest problem in your business, but it's the last thing you work on.
Yeah.
Well, we are working on it. We have an Indeed ad. How good's that Indeed ad working for you right now, especially when they change their platform, right? So now I teach my guys to always be recruiting, whether you're in the grocery store or whether you're in a restaurant. And I just recruited a kid this morning. And
do you have cards? Do you have recruiting cards? Because I have a recruiting card that I carry with me all the time.
We do, but ours are here's a pro tip for you. We use an app, right? So that way, when we send them the app, we already have they have to give us their phone number.
A lead magnet.
Mic drop. Oh my God, that's great.
They have to give us their phone numbers. So that way we can keep it in our CRM system to follow up with them. So they don't just fall off somewhere. They give them a card. You might never hear from them again. But if you use an app on your phone, you'll say, hey, just give me your phone number. I'll send you this app. But either way, you'll have their number.
That's gangster. I'm sorry. For the systems nerd, and I do that in my personal interactions with people. I have a digital business card, but I never even thought about doing it for recruiting. I'm ordering one today. Oh my God, that's good.
So it's simple. So like my videographer that you guys probably see here around, he does all of our TikTok. I actually recruited him at the gym. Just walked up to him and said, hey, what do you do? And he's like, I work at FedEx, just moved here from Arizona. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, what else do you do? And he started telling me about taking pictures. I'm like, well, you ever do videos? And he's like, actually, that's what I do. And now he's full-time with us just doing videos, left FedEx, and now he's got our TikTok getting like 1.2 million views with all organic. So just finding the right people. Like he's like, well, I don't have a college degree. I'll never get this job anywhere. I'm like, I don't care about college degrees. Like I like school hard knocks. You figure it out and you're good at your job. You always have a job with me.
That's so
really
good.
Cool.
Okay, sorry, Martha. I'm going to shut it now.
That's okay. That's okay. But you know what I heard from, and marketing is marketing, but in marketing for clients and marketing for employees, on both of those, you go the route of being different, differentiating. Because the thing is, like you said, everybody's doing Indeed, everybody's doing the traditional digital way of marketing. And that's what, when we were talking, you were talking to me about the maid service stuff. And when we were talking and we got on this concept, I was like, that's what gets so exciting is that, if I would hear door-to-door sales, I'd be like, but if you step back and think about it long enough, there's, you don't have any competition hardly in that mode of marketing.
Yeah.
And
You're
so
hunting.
You don't get lost in the crowd. Back in the day where you could do door hangers, I was kind of a mini you, Jonas. I had stay-at-home moms, and when their kids were at school, I had routes, and they would come and pick up those door hangers, and I had a map, and I'm like, you've got this route, you've got this route. They might have a kid in a stroller, and they were hitting the pavement with my door hangers. And it was awesome.
I love it.
Awesome. Yeah. And so I love, and don't even talk about when I had a van full of kids doing door hangers and I lost a couple of them, but I found them.
And that's where the technology comes into play these days, because you can track every single door that you're on, the person you talked to, the doors that you sold, the doors that you send quotes to. So you're not always just re-knocking those doors. But obviously, all of our industries, route density is key. So we like to sit in our neighborhoods for as long as we can just to build up the whole route density. And you walk up to your neighbor and you literally show them a map of all your clients, and every single person's a client except for them. They're like, okay, well, I guess we're jumping on board too,
Yeah.
Just like in our service industry specific, as far as like HVAC, plumbing, cleaning, lawn care, door to door is not a thing. If you get into pest control, you get into solar, you get into things like that. There's some windows, but not typically window cleaning. It's more like window restoration.
Yeah.
You get people in those industries, but in our industry specific, there's no one that does it. Like, and I have some pretty influential friends in in the door-to-door game. I've reached out to all of them. They're like, nope, no one's doing it. Nope, no one's doing it. And that's what made us different.
And that's kind of crazy, because when you talk about the industries that are doing it, you think, how are they so much different, you know? And yeah, that is exactly why I love to surround myself with people from different industries, because different industries, you know, are doing different things. And it's like our friend Megan, when she came and she was around all the maid service people and we had recurring revenue, she's like, I want recurring revenue in window cleaning. And you better believe, you know, she was all over that. So, and now everybody does.
And that was a big thing for us, was the recurring revenue. And I know Michelle, she hit the nail on the head about winter and being in the service industry that we're in. Like, winter takes a big hit for us, and spread our cash flow throughout the entire year was a massive win.
Yeah. And, you know, that should be a relatively easy sell, because as clients, we like, you know, to be able to spread things out as well, you know, so it's not a big ticket. So that's awesome. Well, Michelle's going to rein me in. So
no, it's fine. We're good. We're good.
I have one quick story to tell.
Oh, yeah.
Please give it to us.
So my stepbrother and one of my best friends from high school started a cleaning company like a year ago, and they're struggling. And they're all selling all the one-time jobs and not reoccurring revenue. And they said that can't be done, that you can't do it door to door. So I took two of my guys last week for 5 hours. I said, just go try this and see if it's possible. They went and sold 8 reoccurring jobs in 3 hours. So that's all clean. All clean.
The value of that is probably $2,500 to $3,000 for the year.
It ended up being just over $4,000 for the year in 3 hours. In the cleaning industry that I know zero about.
Right. And in the cleaning industry, that they don't do door to door. And so that's why I was like, hey, Jonas, how do you like New Orleans?
So, I mean,
so good.
And I feel like the pressure washer industry is just like pest control. We do the same.
Right. Well, there again, you know, if it works for another service industry, why does it have to be pigeonholed into just that service industry? So I love it. I love it. But I think before we start wrapping it up, we need to talk about admin boot camp that we're involved in, and it's coming up in Orlando from February 8th to 10th. And who wants to take that?
Well, go ahead. I can do it, Tay, if you don't want to, because your voice.
I was going to say, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
I mean, I can take this one.
So what we have decided to do collaboratively is help your admin. So if you're a business owner and you need to be free of some of those day-to-day operational tasks, having an incredibly strong admin in the seat is really, really critical. And so really having that person coached up and supported and cared for and trained is really, really important. And so we've seen this need in the market and we've jumped in. And so you can send your admin to us for 2 full days of intensive training. We go through marketing, sales, systems, people culture, and we do actual finances as well with Megan. So everybody on the screen, including Megan and then another young lady named Amanda Powell, we really spend our time sharing everything that we know to get these admins up to speed. And then afterwards, they are invited to a special membership where they can hang out with other admins. And it's really great to watch those connections being made and those questions being answered. So that's Admin Bootcamp Adventure. And we'll put the link in the show notes and in the chat. And we would love to have your admin come with us. I've got like 2 calls today on people that want to speak to me before they buy. They're so scared to send their admin. So I'm going to talk to them and get them on a plane. It's going to be really fun. So
it's you know what we're finding, and it was true of me too. I'm not for lack of a better term, I'm not like an admin, an office person. I don't know those things. I can operate in Word and Excel okay, but I'm certainly, as we all know, I'm certainly not able to stay on track and follow a system. And so as owners, a lot of us are that way, and we can't really teach our admin effectively. So it's a great, great thing. And what we've seen is that your admin is kind of on a lonely island, and a lot of times that job sucks. It just does. And so they come to admin boot camp, and it's almost like, hey, there's other people just like me, and they have some of the same problems. So it's really cool to see them say, hey, I have a question about this CRM. How do you guys do this? And so forth. Because if you ask the owner, likely they're going to say, I have no idea, So yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And it's
online.
I'll add one piece with my raspy voice over here. We spend months, sometimes weeks, training our technicians, right? You bring in a new technician, you want to make sure they're doing your process the way your business is run, and not bringing over techniques from maybe a past business they may have worked for. But when we hire an admin, we throw a phone and a computer in front of them and say, all right, good luck. Here you go. Have fun.
Yeah.
And it's just at the end of the day, it's to see the transformation of these admins is really what just fills my heart. I mean, it's to watch them walk in, not very confident, very scared, not knowing if they're going to make friends that over those next 48 hours, not knowing what to expect, to then leave to understand that they have that community and have that confidence back in them. It's one of the greatest ways you can invest in your admin. So if you do have questions about it, if you are on the fence, you want to know more about admin bootcamp, how it can impact your admin, I think I can speak for all four of us ladies. We are always open to a phone call, a Facebook message, a conversation, just to help you understand the program better and want to send your admin to it. So it is a great opportunity for them, and we love spending time with your admins. They're great people.
Super fun. Super fun. Okay, shall we do homework? What do you think?
Let's do homework real quick.
What do you say, Tay?
Yes. Okay, so my challenge is I'm going to extend this to like everyone in the company, because like your technicians are kind of your salespeople too, right? If your technicians are in the field, they should be able to help upsell, help sell jobs, help be able to increase that bottom line on that ticket. So I want your entire team to sometime this week, maybe it's this weekend, whenever they're not in the office, go out, introduce themselves to 5 people that they do not know, and give them a compliment. I want them to just get that fear of sales off their chest and really be able to take Jonas's technique and start to build that confidence in the world of sales. Because I am in love with that technique. I think it's amazing. And it's really going to make you just put down all your barriers and be able to go forward and start to meet new people. And that will translate and help in the sales world as well. So that's going to be my homework. I know it's kind of more sales this week than marketing, but I absolutely love it. And I'm so excited to see you guys do it. And I'm definitely going to be doing it myself.
I was at the grocery store last night, and I just still find myself doing it every single day. It's just a habit now. Like I naturally just walk up to people and just introduce myself, and all the time, nice shoes, nice shirt. Tell me about it. Where did you get it?
Say, let's do this thing.
Well, I would say, I'm sure Megan would say finance homework is, know your numbers. Jonas talks about that a lot. So if you're not, maybe you don't know what your, what your KPIs are in the business, what to track, what your gross revenue is. Do you even know what gross revenue is, period? Do you know what the definition is? There's so many things that are involved in finances, and I'm in no way, shape, or form Megan likes, but I will say that she's going to definitely want you guys to know your numbers. And Jonas clearly does. He's been able to work with the team to understand his numbers very well to make better business decisions based upon that. So you're not, it's a new year. Make that your goal this year, to be understanding of your numbers and be able to make your business better because of that.
Ooh, I love that homework. That was really good. And your systems homework is to go check out this door-to-door thing. I am on their website. I'm already stalking them. They have a sales training. They have all kinds of tools and tricks. So if you don't have a door-to-door system in your business, there's a whole bunch of really free tools and understanding of what it would take to put something like that in place. So I'm going to put the link in our Facebook group. I already did, so check it out there. It's in Fight Club for Businesses private group. Please ask to get admitted because we put all of our homework in there every week and it's pretty cool. So it's there. That's your homework for systems.
All right. And your people homework, I want you to think about how you're going to get different with recruiting. So think about what you're doing now. And I'm not asking you to stop that, but I want you to add one thing different. Now, whether that is going into businesses and getting that cool app. Did you say the name of it, Jonas?
Pronto.
Pronto. Cool.
Okay, we'll put that in the link too. Using that app like Jonas talked about, or using those business cards that are recruiting, or you can't really do door hangers much anymore. But if you can do door-to-door sales in that area, you can do door hangers, or the church or something. Figure out one way that's different, and that's your homework. And then Jonas, do you have homework for our listeners?
Sure. If you need help with the door-to-door thing, you want to get help to get set up, you can always reach out to me for industry specific things. Like if you go to the door-to-door experts, if you want to learn solar, sure, they're really good at that. The best trainer that was out there, he does not work there anymore, and he's the one who taught me, and he's the best in the country. And he's still one of my good friends. So, and as far as lawn care, home cleaning, there's not really many other people out there doing it. So if you guys want to get with me to help you guys set this up, get you guys rolling forward and show you the systems and processes that we use, I'm more than willing to help there as well. So your homework would be to reach out to me if you need help.
I think I'm hearing another business for you, Jonas. I think I'm seeing
too.
another path for you down the road.
A funny story is 2 years ago we bought the domain Pest Control Millionaire for this exact moment, and now it's all coming to fruition.
It's time.
We're doing the rebranding. We're building out the website. We have the whole training platform for other companies out there, and we're going to start doing some cleaning ones. We have a whole training system for them, and then we'll help them build like out their systems itself and the coaching, and they can just log into ours, or we can white label you your own training platform where you can put all your standard operating procedures in there. You can put all your core value videos in there. You have one spot where you can go to training for everything, whether it's like for your admins, whether it's for your sales guys or your technicians. It all could be on your white label platform. So
yeah, wow, that's so cool.
Wow, here he comes, people. Watch out. Here he comes.
No kidding.
So once that's going on full release, we're gonna have you back on the show because that sounds awesome.
Please.
Dalton's right there looking at me. We should have it everything within the next week. I think we'll have it all uploaded.
Wow.
There's a couple hours worth of content already, and we're just going to keep adding to it. We're going to start bringing people in other industries and talking with them and get them on our training stuff too. So it won't just be me, be like the industry experts out there.
That's so cool.
I love it. Okay, Jonas, we always end our show with a quote, and this one, the very first one of 2023, is not attributed to anyone, but I loved it because it was so good and it made me think of you. And it says, "Be better, be different." And I think that sums up today's show. Be better by being different. Thank you so much for joining us. This was super fun. I'm so grateful for your time. And everybody, thank you all so much. Let's keep fighting out there. What do you say, Martha?
Go fight.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Jonas.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jonas.